Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff. You're watching Fluent American, specifically our Saturday show, which is called The Schwa Mill. We do every single Saturday at this time for the next hour and a half, 2 hours-ish, is we listen to your pronunciation files, which you send me, and we give some suggestions for ways that you can sound more natural in American English. Our goal is to craft your accent. Now, if you're new to the show and you have never seen us before, whether on the replay or you're live right now with us, it would be great to hear from you. Hey, I see Sponzy's here. Spon actually just sent us a comment, and I told him to come, or she. Sponzy, male, female, how do you identify? Anyways, I told them to come, and they are now here. So that's really exciting. Cool, cool, cool. Great to see you. Emmanuel, our loyal Emmanuel, is back as well. Okay, and if you're watching us for the first time as well, please say hi, hey in the chat. Let us know if you've been here before, or if you're watching again on the replay in the future. Hello to you from the past. Let me know how many times you've seen our stream. It'd be great to have that information. But I want to show you kind of just the steps that you can take in order to send your own pronunciation files. Give me a second to share my screen. And of course, if you have some other questions for me about anything, you can also put those in the chat. We mainly focus on pronunciation, but we're happy to talk about other things related to American English as well. Okay. I mean, I know we're getting close to 4K. We are. I mean, I'll be honest with you for a minute. Like, in all honesty, like, subscriber numbers don't really mean a whole lot. Because, like, not much changes. I mean, once you reach 10,000 subs, then I'll be able to, they have, like, different, like, YouTube places. Like, for instance, in, like, New York and stuff like that, they have, like, studios that I would be able to access, which would be kind of cool. But, like, honestly, subscriber numbers, because like YouTube doesn't even push videos to subscribers. Like, even like the subscribers get notified. Like, I'll go through the stats, and the number of subscribers who are actually watching videos is so small. Yeah. But yeah, it would be cool, you know, just like kind of like a little milestone personal goals. It would be cool to reach the 4K soon. It would be cool to reach 10,000 soon. That'd be great if we could do it by the end of the year. I don't know. My trajectory is very slow. I look at other English channels and they grow much faster, but I mean, it is what it is. So it's not going to affect what I do. But we'll see what happens. You never know. But let's go back again to see if you have never sent us a pronunciation file and you are interested in getting some feedback on your pronunciation. This is the document that you need to use. You'll also see that I have put a link in the chat box at the top where you can send in your own pronunciation files. So I'll bring you to this document. You'll see that the website we are using is called vocaroo.com. And once you go to vocaroo.com, it's going to look a little different. They'll have a record button. You can then record your audio and you can send it to me, because what you're going to see is down here, it's going to give you a link. You copy this link, you put it down here, and that's going to be how we'll be able to see your file. Okay. Hello to Anna, or is it Anna? You'll have to let me know. Anna. An American accent, obviously, it will be more Anna. Want to improve my American accent? Please, any tips how you can improve your American accent? Yeah, for sure. That's all for the next like hour and a half, 2 hours. That is all that we are going to be doing. Something I'd also like to experiment with today, and this might sound a little scary to some people, but I want to try it out. If you want to join me here on the live stream, oh my gosh. You want to join me here? You want to come up on this screen and you want to like say some things so we could talk about your pronunciation? Today we're going to try it out. If anyone is interested, I'm going to put this link into the chat box. All you'll need to do is go to this link here. Okay, we'll do, if people actually are interested, we'll do one at a time. And we'll just have you say a couple things and we'll kind of just talk about how you pronounce some stuff and give you some live feedback. I would say though that if you're going to be on stream with us, cool. We do need to make sure that your audio quality is good and your video quality is relatively decent, or you can turn off your camera, or we could just listen to you. So that is another option that you can experiment with today if you want to join me on the big screen. Oh my gosh, who's feeling brave today? It's not really that big a deal. But yeah, unfortunately, if the audio quality or the video quality is not great, we won't be able to keep you on the stream. Or if you don't keep it appropriate, let's keep it PG rated on here. Those are things that we can't do. But if what's going to happen when you click that link, by the way, is it's going to ask you for a microphone. It's going to ask you for your also your video settings. Okay, so just make sure those are good. And if we have technical difficulties, we have them, but we'll manage. It's a live stream. That's supposed to happen. Okay. To get back to Anna's point really quick. So one thing I would really say is one thing we're going to be talking about a lot today. I'm probably going to give people the same advice for like everybody because this is such a common thing with students. The first thing I tell students in class is, hey, for however long we work together, I'm really just going to give you two pieces of advice. I'm going to tell you to project from a lower position because most likely you're projecting from somewhere in your head space. And I'm going to be telling you to project from down here, a little bit lower. And the other thing I'm really going to be telling you to do is I'm going to be telling you to get more breath through your throat because most likely what's happening is you are closing things off so not as much air is able to make it through. Okay, so those are going to be the two consistent things that we are going to be discussing a lot, in addition to things like intonation, stress, rhythm, pitches, all of that fun stuff as well. So those are going to be the very two big pieces of advice I can give you immediately before we listen to people. I will also say that when it comes to improving American English accent, or even just talking about placement and about airflow, just to give you some examples. I use this example a lot. Let's talk about a sound that exists most likely in your first language. Almost every language has this sound. It is the E sound. So just kind of say, what does the E sound like in your first language? Okay. Does it sound like E, or does it sound like E? Most likely in your language, it sounds like E. But the reality is in American English, if you're making that E sound up here, you're never going to quite sound natural in American English. So we'll want to project that a little bit lower. And again, the sound you're more likely to hear in North America is something closer to E. So, so that's going to be immediately the biggest difference. Again, lower, more air coming through. Sound is in the house. Hey, haven't seen you in a long, long time. Hope you're doing well. Sin, I believe in the past you were working on like some IELTS goals and things like that, right? Okay. But you guys did not come here just to hear me blabber on and on and on. You guys want some actual feedback. I totally understand that. Nothing against that. So let's get right into it, shall we? Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? All right, you're going to see I have changed very slightly. I've added my headphones. So that way I will be able to hear your audio, and hopefully you will be able to as well, because I'm going to share my screen and my audio. Hello to Zebby. Great to see you. Welcome to the stream. If you, again, feel free to go backwards in the stream a little bit if you'd like to send in your own pronunciation file for the instructions, or you can also just go to this link at the top of the chat box in case you want to get some feedback. I want to do a little bit of so many experiments. So again, if you want to join me on the stream and talk about your pronunciation, we can do that. If you go to this link here, which is earlier in the chat. But another experiment I want to do is I kind of just want to do, because I know sometimes it gets to be the end of the stream, we kind of need to rush through things a little bit. So we're going to do kind of like just a quick Blitz session where we listen to all the audio files really quick, all the ones that I have that I've scouted, and just give some quick feedback. And then once we get through all those files, then we'll listen one by one and give some more, more elaborate feedback and things like that. So a Blitz session where we'll just kind of give like one major thing that I'm noticing, and then we'll return and kind of speed things up. Okay. It is always cool to see new people on the stream. I think we have fun. I think learning pronunciation could be fun. But yeah. Let me see. Zebby asked, do we need the pressure to muscle right B? I feel like I'm doing like a fighting game, like Street Fighter or something. I need to go like right B or like down B or something. Can you like? I feel like we got chopped off. What do you mean by right B? If you can elaborate on that question, I'd be more than happy to answer it. Okay.
Question.
I really want to know the definition of my unmatched perspicacity, coupled with my sheer makes me feel a fear component any realm of human endeavor. I'll be honest, I don't know what that means. I don't know perspicacity. I'm not familiar with. Defatigability. I'm guessing has to do with endurance or inability to get fatigued. But honestly, I wouldn't, especially because I don't have a whole lot of context. I wouldn't be able to give you a great answer for that question. I'm sorry. Hopefully that's not going to be like a life or death situation if I'm not able to answer that. Okay. And I'm glad to hear that. Cool. All right. So again, let's do a real quick Blitz session. We're just going to give one quick piece of feedback to everyone's audio files. Then we will return. Emmanuel, did you know the meaning of that? That's impressive. That is the impressive. Although I will be the first to say I do not have the best vocabulary. Okay. Cool. But observance. Okay. One quick piece of feedback for everybody. And then we'll do our longer, more extended version. But this is just a quick blitz. Let's see what I'm hearing here.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
First thing I'm going to tell you, your volume here is super low.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
So if you do send us audio files, I would definitely say that, check your volumes, listen to your files, make sure that everything sounds okay on your end.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
I would say a little bit overstressed, like give someone the benefit of the doubt versus give someone the benefit of the doubt. Give someone the benefit of the doubt. Okay, that's one thing I would say there for that file. We'll return and get some more detailed feedback, but our next one.
Hey, how's it going? Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Very rushed. Like, hey, how's it going? Do you have any? Sounds like you're talking to like a prospective date or something like that, or someone you want to ask out, but you're nervous.
Hey, how's it going? Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
The big thing here, I want you to pay attention to how you said going. Like going.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? How's it going? Kind of a trait of a quote unquote like Valley Girl type accent, or like something you find in California. Again, not a mistake, but I'm not sure if that's the vibe that you're going for or not. Okay. So instead of going, more going, because you would expect falling intonation there because it's it's an information question, and usually those are going to fall. Okay. If something like falling intonation is new to you, that's actually what our very next video is going to talk about. Although it's the same more at beginners, but it might be helpful also for if you studied pronunciation for a while. Take a look at our next one.
The part call indicator lag.
Okay, I'll be honest, that middle section, I know the expression. If I did not know this expression, I think I would probably ask you to repeat yourself.
The part call indicator lag.
And I think that the issue is there's not enough contrast. Pot calling kettle black. Like there's versus the pot calling the kettle black, calling the kettle black. So I would say let's try to increase the range of pitches that you're using, because right now everything's kind of at about like the same 2 or 3 pitches. Could we expand this to maybe like 4 or 5? And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Next one.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything that the math checks out.
2 things here. Again, pitches. You're giving me about 2 or 3 pitches. And I'm guessing by the fact versus, and I'm guessing by the fact, we could expand the range of pitches that we're using, and that's going to make this much, much more comprehensible. I'll be honest. The other thing that you'll probably want to take a look at too is that TH on anything versus anything.
Fact that you haven't said anything.
Anything. Do you hear that? Versus anything. So we'll talk about some other things too a little bit later, but those are the quick notes.
Cut somebody some slack.
Here we go.
Cut somebody some slack.
Cut somebody some slack. Cut somebody.
Cut somebody some.
Cut somebody. So it's like you're getting tons and tons of breath through. I will give you that. I think there's maybe some things we could play around with placement. Okay. It also feels maybe a little bit forced and strained. The other thing though.
Cut somebody some slack.
Again, pitches. Everyone has these pitch things. You're giving me the same pitch over and over again. Da 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 da.
Cut some
Cut some
slack.
versus cut somebody some slack. You're not giving me any movement in your pitches, so everything's kind of sounding the same. Okay, and even if we are kind of breathing in terms of how we talk, using Emmanuel's words here, just adding contrast will immediately still make this much more comprehensible. Last two from our first batch.
I have no idea. What did I ask you?
Okay, that first part I'm definitely going to have to listen to again.
I have no idea. What did I ask you?
I have no idea. I'm guessing it says I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea. My thing here is going to be stress. I think your stress is falling on a place that, while certainly possible, is going to be less frequent among native speakers.
I have no idea.
Versus I have no idea. I have no idea. Most likely your stress would actually fall on idea instead of no. I think that would have had a pretty big impact.
What did I ask you? Yeah. What did I ask you?
I do like your linking. What do you ask you? I do like that. I do think there's some other things that we'll be able to mention a little bit later too, but I think just changing that stress would have a huge impact.
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
You reduced the E in me. You say meh, meh.
Kidding me.
Kidding me. Kidding me. Versus kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. This E sound does not get reduced very often in American English. You want to make sure it stays strong. Okay, so I think you kept it a little bit too reduced. Okay, so that was just a quick run through. Again, we'll run through all those files again just to give some more immediate feedback. We just want to make sure everyone got at least a little bit of something in case we have time issues later. I just want to check the chat really quick, and I also need some water. Stay hydrated, my friends. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. The name sounds familiar, but I'll be honest, my knowledge of people and things like that is horrible. My wife always makes fun of me for not knowing who people and things are. I'll be honest. You can let me know, though. This probably comes from Latin or Greek. Would definitely make sense. It's certainly very helpful knowing Romance language. A lot of times what happens is Romance languages, like especially like Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, like they'll have French, huge. They'll have words that exist in English as well, but they're not very common. Like to give an example, like a word like distribute. In English, distribute's not like a super common word. You could say, oh, like the teacher distributed the tests to the students. You could certainly say that, but not very frequent. You would be more likely to hear phrasal verb. Phrasal verb versions are going to be much more common in American English versus the Latinate form. So for instance, like the teacher distributed the test, the teacher handed out the test, the teacher passed out the test, the teacher gave out the test. Those sorts of versions will be much, much, much more frequent, in all honesty. And a question. We need to pressure tense a little bit the muscle in our chin. I would probably actually make the argument that you probably in general don't want to tense it. Instead, you probably want to lower it and relax it. Now, that might feel a little tense at first if it's something that you're not used to. But for me, lowering my jaw actually causes my mouth to relax more. Okay. So having your lower jaw a little bit more open can be something that is helpful for achieving a more natural sound. Keep in mind that your tongue is attached to your lower jaw. So when you open that more, you are allowing more air to come through. So that's something that happens. All right. And again, if you would like to send your pronunciation files and things like that, and you're watching the stream for the first time, you can go here at the top of the chat box. If you're here for the first time, say hey. If you're here for the second time, let me know. If you're here for the 1,000th time, when you get Emmanuel a badge, then you can let me know that too. If I tend to tense my chest when I try to speak with Laura. Yeah, I think that sometimes when people are focusing on placement, I do think that is something that can occur. And the reality is that, that's something you want to be aware of. That's mindful. because it's something that may be new, you may feel like at first you kind of have to force it down. Okay, I think that's a very common situation. If you're feeling that sort of tension and things like in your chest, though, that really is something that we're not exactly looking for, because you can have a low placement but still not have natural sound. To give you an example, let's use the E sound again, which we mentioned earlier. Okay, so for instance, I'll give you an example of like a high tense placement. E, that's very tense and high. E. I'll give you an example of a high but open, more relaxed placement. E, E. Now I'm going to give you an example of a placement that is low but open. E, E. And now I'm going to give you an example of a placement that is low but tense. E, E. Can you hear the differences just between all those? Feel free to play that back a couple of times. But that, that last one, E, that's very forceful. That's not quite the sound we're going for. Okay, it should not feel like a strain. What it should be just kind of a gentle releasing of air. Remember, placement's important, but so is breath. In some ways, I think the breath is actually more important. So if you're tensing things up, you are not allowing enough air to make it through your throat, and that's not going to give you the sound that you're looking for. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's so many words like that. So like, going from a Romance language to English, you have a huge advantage, but in terms of vocab, but the issue is that those forms just aren't as frequently used in spoken English. Like you'll do great on like an SAT or a GRE, but like conversationally, those sorts of words sound very awkward. And question here.
Question.
Yeah, I would say kind of like more like the sense of like extra, but it can be superficial in the right situations. But I would say kind of like it's superfluous, like it's not like kind of like necessary or redundant. I think those are the more common uses. And I'm about to get educated on Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate went viral for speaking of facts about women life in general. Some of the things he said about women. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll certainly do it. Times have certainly changed. Okay. Other things. Looks like we're all caught up. So let's go deeper into the files that you guys have sent me. Bring back our list here. Kind of just go in random order.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything that the math checks out.
I think there's a lot to like here. Going to play that again. If I can find, I always forget. I think it's this one, right?
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything that the math checks out.
Okay. That was a beta checking in. Great to see you, miss. I think you're giving me a lot of kind of this repeated pattern. I don't even know if you noticed.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't. You got a lot of repetition of that, right?
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said.
And in general, English does not like these sorts of repeated patterns. I'll be honest, if you ever find yourself kind of repeating the same sorts of structures over and over again, English, like alarms kind of like start flashing and things go crazy and people see red. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it is kind of something to be mindful of. And again, just trying to make sure everyone has something to leave with in case we run out of time. Now we can go a little bit more in depth. So watch out for that in terms of the repeated patterns.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything.
Part of the reason this is happening is because you're adding extra stresses. And one of the things that we talk about a lot is that when you comparing native speaker speech with people who are English learners tend to add more stresses. They have more stresses in their speech than native speakers do. And that has an impact on your rhythm. And this is just a kind of a demonstration of that.
And I'm guessing by the fact that
you haven't said anything. So like I would have changed the stresses. So instead of guessing by the fact that you haven't, and I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything. So I would do 2 stresses instead of 3. And notice how the rhythm changes. So I'll say that, and I want you to compare how it was said here. And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything.
Yes, just notice the difference in the rhythm there. That's a pretty big that's a pretty big issue. I mean, I don't want to say issue, but that's a pretty big, it causes a big difference in terms of the rhythm.
And I'm guessing by the fact that you haven't said anything.
We mentioned earlier about anything. Anything. And here's a challenge I have for you. And you don't have to do this with the word anything, but something I would challenge you with is, can you say anything with the tip of your tongue right there? Can you press it against your bottom front tooth down here and say anything? Anything. Anything. I don't know if you can see it, but my tongue's never touching up here. It's always staying down here. Anything. Anything, anything, anything. Say it like 3 times. Anything, anything, anything. What that's going to do is, one, it's going to make things sound a little bit smoother. And it's going to allow your vowels to take over. And it's also going to remove that friction caused by that T or TH. So to give you an example.
That you haven't said anything.
Anything versus anything. Okay. Now, some of you will be like, but Jeff, the TH, where's the TH? You have to have contact with your tooth ass to make that sound. And yes, you when you were in school or you had a teacher, that's probably how you learned how to make your TH sound, is with that contact with your tooth. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You certainly can. You will hear native speakers say anything. You will hear that. But another reality too is that, especially with regards to linking, especially if the word is not stressed, a lot of times those THs aren't made so clear. I hate to tell you this, but if you are perfectly pronouncing your consonants, you will always have an accent when you speak in American English. Just a fact. American English loves vowel sounds. Consonant sounds, they're okay. We really like those vowel sounds though. Helps you flow more. Yeah, so change the rhythm and just kind of experiment, see how you like that. Watch out for the TH sounds. By the way, in the chat, let me know when you say anything, where's the tip of your tongue? Can you tell me in the chat, are you making contact up here or are you making contact down here? Normally when you say like anything or those THs, I want to know where you guys are making your TH sounds. It'd be great to know that.
By the fact that you haven't said anything, that the math checks out.
That the math checks out. That last part is much, much smoother. Much smoother.
You haven't said anything, that the math checks out.
That the math checks out. That the math checks out. Just stressing out. Yeah, that second half of that sentence is so much smoother. And part of the reason for that is you only have one stress. Because that the math checks out.
You haven't said anything, that the math checks out.
Yeah, I like that a lot more. I do want to hear said.
By the fact that you haven't said anything, that the math. Fact that you haven't said anything.
Said anything. Said anything. Yeah, I think it sounds okay. Yeah, so those are probably my biggest 2 pieces of advice for this. If anything is not clear, be sure to let me know. Sycamore, thank you for sending that file. We appreciate it. Okay. Always make contact with teeth. I knew it. I knew you were out there. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just kind of something to be mindful of. You don't always have to make those really clear, clean TH sounds. It's not necessary to do that. Okay. Manuel also noting making some slight contact with the back of your top tooth. And again, there is nothing wrong with that. I would just say, hey, play with some alternatives. This might make things a little smoother for you. Next comment. Can you rename the open tabs with the files? Can I rename them? Fresh, duplicate, turn on. Tab to new group. I mean, I guess maybe in theory I can make a group or something. It's getting... For what it is, it sounds like it just ended up being way too complicated. It's not a huge deal. I just have to remember. I have to jog my mind. It's okay. I forgot timestamps. I need to remember. Okay. I know my document. I'm gonna make a quick document. So we are right now, right around the 30-minute mark. Oh my gosh, you guys have been tuning in to 30 minutes of American English pronunciation help. Second person is going to be right around the 30-minute mark. Cool. But we do have a couple quick questions. Difference between ludicrous and ridiculous. Yeah. Honestly, these have similar meanings. In all honesty. The more common one is going to be ridiculous. But they are synonyms. Talked about that. Talked about that TA sound as well. New people out there. Talking to this a bit. Jeff, my students usually hear the number 3. Is there a free or a tree? Yeah, that's a big thing for my Farsi friends out here. Those TH sounds are very often confused with F sounds. So I'm trying to think of some quick examples. So I'm going to give you some quick examples to practice with. I'm trying to think of some other ones. If you guys think of words that have a F sound versus a TH sound, some minimal pairs. We're looking for some help. Dum dum da dum. Thoughts. We'll give you 3. That's the most I can think of on the spot. Okay. So if you are a person who confuses THs and F sounds, oh my gosh, and then Emmanuel trying to butcher us with this tongue twister. Oh man, I'm excited to try that one. Okay. But let's just kind of do these pairs really quick right here. Okay. So with, whiff. Again, with, whiff. Remember that for that F sound too, your top teeth right there. You want to make a little bit of contact right around there on the inside of your lip for that F sound. Okay, it's like, okay. So again, with, whiff, with, whiff. Our next one, through, few, through, few. And last one, thought, fought, thought, fought. You'll notice a lot for those F sounds like whiff, few, fought. Notice how closed my lips are because I need to get that contact with my top tooth and my lip. Okay. Whereas when I say the TH ones like with, through, thought, my mouth can be a lot wider. Okay, my lips aren't really making that contact. I guess just some quick things you can experiment with there. Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it. It's just it's not it's my struggle. I'll be okay. Maybe. Oh, and then we get this lovely tongue twister. Oh my gosh. First 3 months or 3? I said 3. I butchered it. Boo. That was horrible. I did bad, guys. I did real bad there. Did real bad. Let's try it again. First 3 months are free. The are free. Months are free. That's a tricky one. I usually do pretty good. I do usually do pretty good on tongue twisters. But this one, I bit it. It got me. It got me. First 3 months are free. First 3 months are free. First 3 months are free. Okay. Another thing that you'll notice too, when you say first 3 months, months, if you're going for that real clean, pure THS sound, it's going to really slow you down. Like months versus first 3 months are free. First 3 months are free. I'll be honest, when I'm saying it that way, the tip of my tongue is down here against my bottom tooth. I'll be honest. First 3 months. Just a note. Okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We can do this. Team Tongue Twister in the house. Other questions and things? I think we're all caught up. Bring back our thing here.
Cut some slack.
Sounds like, is this Ed? Ed, I haven't heard you for a while. Welcome back. There was a time when I would actually used to confuse Ed and Emmanuel because both of you guys have so much air coming through. Oh, I did the thing. That's the 4-second one.
Cut some slack.
Okay. Let's hit Edo? Edo? Is it Edo or Edo? Or Edo? Or Edo? Give me some guidance on that. I get a heavy lisp when I try to pronounce the word tongue is about tooth. Yeah, like that could sort of happen. Like for instance, what's a like lisp, 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 lisp versus lisp, lisp. Some things I'm trying to think of a way to kind of help with that. Bus, bus, barths, bath, bars, bath, bath, bar, trying to think of a way to kind of combat that. Can you give me an example of a word that would certainly be helpful in terms of giving some suggestions? Give me an example of a word you find that you get a heavy lisp on. Those were the days. Anyways, first file.
Cut somebody some slack.
Okay. So the first thing I think is going to have the most immediate impact is, again, stresses, because it's stress and pitch, because right now everything's kind of the same.
Cut somebody some slack.
Dumb, 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 dumb. Cut somebody some slack. That's kind of what you're doing.
Cut somebody some slack.
So you're giving me 4 stresses. You're giving me 4 words and you're giving me 4 stresses. So everything's kind of sounding the same, right? So let's try to not do that. Or in other words, let's try to not stress everything and just have one primary stress. Because this is a pretty short phrase, right? Just cut somebody some slack. Not a very long phrase or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, cut somebody some slack. Let's stress slack. Cut somebody some slack. Cut somebody some slack. Try to go down. Cut somebody some. Cut somebody some. Cut somebody some. Cut somebody some slack. Cut somebody some slack. I think that's going to have an immediate impact on how you're sounding for this sentence. Another thing, let's talk about the mouth breathing.
Cut somebody some slack.
Can you take off?
Cut somebody some slack.
Can you say 3 schwa sounds? So we'll cut somebody some is primarily 3 schwa sounds in a row. So can you do like and then after that start adding the consonants back in. So like cut somebody some. Cut somebody some. Cut somebody some. Because I want to make sure that our vowels are getting enough room to kind of flow. And I'm a little bit nervous that these sibilants, these S sounds, are becoming a little dominant.
Cut somebody some slack.
Yeah. And another similar exercise you could do is looking at the last 2 words. So like just the vowels would be so schwa sound followed by an sound on ack, slack. So just doing that a couple times, like some slack, some slack, some slack. Okay, cut somebody some slack, cut somebody some slack. So we'd like to kind of hear those things, and I think that could have an impact on how you sound. Okay. Mayo mentions that it sounds threatening. Oh my gosh. I think the reason for that is because, again, everything's very forceful. Heavy fourth, I was going to say fourth tones. Heavy falling intonations, okay? Heavy falling intonations and heavy stresses. And then the impact of that is making it sound very forceful, okay? Playing with some of those pitches and things like that will help with that. Oh, man, I see Susanna sent us something, too. Oh, my gosh. Susanna, what did you send? One to practice the TH sound. Oh my God, people! Why are we choosing violence today? Why are we waking up and choosing violence? All right. 3 things that I think about is my mother, my father, or my brother. Bam, bam. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Yeah. 3 things that I think about is my mother, my father, and my brother. One of the reasons that, TH tongue twisters, if you find that you have a hard time with them, is to, yeah, see, Emmanuel knows, he gets it, yeah, that's right. These TH sounds, the consonants, it looks so imposing. It looks so intimidating. It's scary. But then you have to remember that, again, in English, we're really focusing on the vowel sounds. So the TH sounds we can really weaken. As long as we get the vowel sounds right, that's going to be the key thing. So like, instead of saying like 3 things, it becomes more like 3 things. So instead of 3 things, more 3 things. 3 things. Instead of saying that I think about, it's more that I think about. 3 things that I think about. 3 things that I think about. Okay? Just kind of something to think about there. Yeah, don't let the TH sounds scare you. They're not scary. Don't let them dictate your life. Don't let them try to take over. We're better than that. We are better than that. Let us now go back. I think those are my main things here.
Cats are most.
I think that'll have a pretty big impact. Let's jump to this one at the beginning. 2-second file, really short. Oh man. Unfortunately, my 'cause I'm using StreamYard, so I can't actually see the emojis. So all I see is virtual hug. I'm guessing that's a hug emoji.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, I'm gonna have to be fast on this one just because the audio file is so low. So let me what they're saying is give someone the benefit of the doubt. Thank you for including the text. I appreciate it. By the way, guys, a quick reminder. If anyone is feeling brave, courageous, wants to talk to me, okay, what I would say is you can. Join me on the stream. I'm not going to bite you. We're just going to talk. We'll give you some things to say, and we'll give you some feedback on your pronunciation. So if you want to hop on the stream with me, talk to me, and get some live feedback with me right now, right this minute, without sending those recorded files or anything like that, take a look earlier in the stream. I can also repost the link as well, so that way you can join me, and we can take a look. All you need to do is to have a reliable microphone, especially. It'd be nice if you had a nice camera, too, to see. Okay, but if you want to hop on in, you can join me. But anyways, so again, we're going to take a look at this file really fast, just because, again, the audio file is a little bit low in terms of the volume.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
Overstressed on doubt. You're like holding it like doubt. Give someone the benefit of the doubt. I'm exaggerating. You didn't hold that long, but just kind of something to pay attention to. Notice how much longer doubt is compared to other things.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt. Give you the benefit of the doubt. The other thing too is that it feels almost like you have 3 stresses.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
It's kind of like three thought groups, almost like give someone the benefit of the doubt. I think we could cut it down to 2 at most. 1 preferable. Give someone benefit of the doubt. Give them benefit of the doubt. Doubt should be your heaviest stress. And if doubt is going to be your heaviest stress, then what you need to do is you need to raise that pitch higher. Because right now, all your stress words are at the same pitch. Every single one of them. And that's causing things to blend together. And in case you haven't noticed, that's not what we want. Because that's going to cause some issues. So while I do commend you for lengthening your stressed word, which is good. You do want to do that. Don't over-exaggerate. We do want to raise the pitch a little higher to make it stand out more. Okay? What's up to Josh? Checking in from English Hacks. Okay. Josh and I have been pounding out shorts. Although he's been going crazy. He's doing shorts from his car and things like that. You being careful when you're driving, man? I see what you're doing out there. Definitely see what you're doing. If you wanted to stop in the stream really quick, by the way, you don't have to, of course. But if you have a second, feel free to just jump on in. You can use that link. But going back to this file here.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt. Give doubt. Push that. Go higher on the pitch. Why are we keeping everything at the same? Everything's at the same level, so it's all sounding equal. I totally understand, man. It's all good. It's all good. I'll try to pop in tomorrow for a bit.
Give someone the benefit of the doubt.
Give someone benefit of the doubt. Raise that a little bit higher because right now it's getting lost. It's getting lost in everything you're saying, and you want that to stand out a little bit more. Okay, so just a note about that. Okay. I think those are going to be the big things. Again, that audio is really low, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. But if you have other questions about that file, you can always send me a message, and I'll be happy to talk more about it later. Who next? Another 2-second file.
I have no idea. What did I ask you?
Okay, this one starts a little low on the volume, but then it picks up a bit, so that certainly is helpful. Let us see. So this is what our file is. Oh no, did I lose it? Is this one?
I have no idea. What did I ask you?
I have no idea versus I have no idea. Heavy stress on idea. You know, I have no idea. I have no idea versus I have no idea. Again, something that we mentioned earlier when we were doing the Blitz is that I think putting the stress on idea versus no will have a pretty big impact on your sound. Okay, so that's my first recommendation. By the way, Josh, if you're still here, StreamYard, yay, nay? When is it going to happen, man? It's going to make a huge difference.
I have no idea. What did I ask you?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea. The other thing here too is that I have no idea. It feels like everything's dropping. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. Whatever word, even if you want to stress no, cool. I would strongly recommend having a pitch higher because it's getting a little bit lost. Okay. Because it's all kind of blending together a little bit. Okay. Excited for you, Josh. Once you start, you're not going to go back.
I have no idea.
I'm not getting a commission, I promise. No commissions. But I have no idea. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
The other thing I'm going to say is that it sounds to me like not a whole lot of air is making it through your throat. Sounds like things are getting a little bit closed off. Like it sounds to me you're kind of doing like, I have no idea. I have no idea. Versus a more open sound should be like, I have no idea. Hear a difference between I have no idea and I have no idea. Can you hear a difference just in the amount of airflow I'm getting through?
I have no idea.
This is especially prominent on the
I have no idea.
no. Some words that are really effective for having a nice open O sound are just like these words here, which I would recommend kind of practicing a little bit. And I would do an exercise like this, like practice just saying O. Make sure you're feeling comfortable saying O by itself. Okay, it's just like oh. And as you get more comfortable with that, then what you can do is you can transition to like adding the consonant back in. So for instance, do an exercise like this, like oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Just kind of cycling between one and the other back and forth. And what this is also going to do is going to help weaken your consonant sound, which will conversely allow your vowel sound to stand out more. And remember, English loves vowel sounds. That's how people are understanding what you're saying. So by doing that, you're going to make it easier for your listener to understand you. It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Same thing with the next word. It's like, oh, don't, oh, don't, oh, don't, oh, don't, oh, don't, oh, don't, oh, don't. Okay. And if you find that you're saying like, oh, don't, oh, don't, oh, don't, well, that is an immediate sign to you that your consonants are very strong and they are impacting the sound that you're giving. Okay. And again, we don't want the vowels, we don't want the consonant sounds to take over. We want those vowels to get a little bit more opportunity. And the last one is going to be the word go. So again, similar setup. It's like, oh, go, 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 go. Things like that. Okay. So make sure it's not, oh, go, oh, go, oh, go. Because that's an immediate sign your consonant is kind of trying to take up all the space. And that's not quite what we are looking for. Okay. So just kind of some sounds to look at for right there. Moving back to our file. No, it wasn't that one. Where did I put it? I'm losing myself, guys. Let's take a look at the second half of that file. I think there's also some things here that will be helpful in part 2.
Yeah. What did I ask you?
This part sounds a lot more natural to me than the first part. I think the stresses are in more natural positions. I like your linking.
Yeah. What did I ask you?
Woody. I like that Woody. And there's some really nice linking there with the kind of like that fast D sound, that fast D replacing the T on what, and then Woody reducing the H sound, which is great. So it's not what did he or what he. It's more Woody.
What did he ask you?
Woody.
Yeah. What did he ask you?
What did he ask you? What did he ask you? Perfect.
Yeah. What did he ask you?
What did he ask you?
What did he ask you?
And Joe, I like that. Another option that you could do too is you could also reduce the U to like, yeah, what do you ask you? What do you ask you? And say, what do you ask you? What do you ask you? But you'll hear both. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so I would spend most of the time focusing on that first half to see what you can do there. Okay. Thank you for sending that file. This goes for everybody. Thank you for everyone for sending the files. I do appreciate it. Cannot do these streams without you. Need a quick water break. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. Okay, who's next?
I have no idea.
Okay, we have 3 left from our original group. Gonna go right for the middle. Let's just see what we got here.
The part call indicator lag.
I think we mentioned earlier we have some Gordon Ramsay said. Well, that's gonna be exciting to hear. Pot calling the kettle black. That's fine. I know what it is. Okay, let me just type that in. The pot calling the kettle black. This is an expression. You could type this into Youglish.com if you're not familiar with Youglish. What you can do is you can go here and kind of just listen to what people would say. Just make sure you select US to make sure you're getting American accents. Sometimes British accents still creep up on there. You know how those old Brits were. It's definitely him. Oh, some fun facts too. I have some more merch coming out dedicated to our great friend. It's him, the singer. But I will hopefully that arrives soon, which I'll be very excited to show off. But anyways, our phrase here is pot calling kettle black. I think one thing we mentioned when we were doing the Blitz session is we said that everything's kind of sounding the same in terms of like pitches and things.
The pot call indicator lag.
Pot calling the kettle black. Do you know there is some movements? I'm not saying that everything's at exactly the same pitch, but I would like to expand our range even more. I also think part of the reason too is that we're stressing so many words. You know, here, look, it's a 6-word. This is a 6-word phrase, and I feel like you're giving me 3 stresses.
The pot call indicator lag.
4 stresses. Excuse me. You're stressing pot. You're stressing calling. You're stressing kettle, and you're stressing black.
The pot call indicator lag.
The pot calling the kettle black. You hear that? The kind of gets back into those patterns. Again, American English in general doesn't like patterns too much. It likes when things contrast and are different from each other. So it's kind of something to be mindful of.
The pot call indicator lag.
Pot calling the kettle black. That's just a pot calling the kettle black. I would be curious to see again on Youglish just to kind of see how other people are saying this. My guess is that the most common stresses for this are going to be on pot and black. The pot calling the kettle black. That's just the pot calling the kettle black. Josh, if you're still hanging around, let me know what you think on that pot and black, or if you would just stress something else. But those would be the places that I personally would just kind of think about right here in the moment.
The pot call indicator lag.
So I would reduce calling. The pot calling the kettle, calling the kettle. And notice that pot calling the kettle, calling the kettle. So you kind of get this like calling the kettle in terms of like just like the pitch rhythm. It's like starting slightly high and then dropping, then going up again. Okay. Pot calling the kettle black. Pot calling the kettle black. Question here. Why not stress kettle? Good question. Because this for the expression here, the emphasis is more on the color. Because this is an idiom. This is an expression. So this is like when one person calls someone something that also applies to themselves. You know, so like if I'm like a hypocrite, or if I am a cheater, if I cheat on tests, and then I'm calling someone else a cheater, you could say, "Oh, it's just it's the pot calling the kettle black." You know, so I think that the emphasis is more on the color, because it's like, hey, you're this, and so is this other thing. So the emphasis, I think, tends to be more on the color than the object, at least in my impression. But again, I would say listen to other people saying the phrase too, and kind of see what words they're stressing. But for me right now, I'm going to definitely say that, hey, I would stress pot and black. To go, great question. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But other things.
The pot calling the kettle black.
Some vowel things too. For kettle.
Calling the kettle.
Dude, kettle versus kettle. It sounds to me like you're almost like rolling your tongue a little bit, like kettle versus
Calling the
kettle versus kettle. Okay, so try not to move your tongue quite as much, especially like that mid back of your tongue. Try to keep it a little bit more static. Kettle. The pot calling the kettle black. The pot calling the kettle black. Kettle. Compare again my kettle with his.
Calling the kettle.
Kettle versus kettle.
Black.
Okay.
The pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, those are definitely going to be my main things. I think that's the main vowel sound I would take a look at. Okay. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Marcos. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Thank you so much for sending that file, as always. Marcos is so reliable, so consistent. Okay. Yeah, someone read the Shar is laughing. Exactly, yeah, it's the same kind of thing. Same sort of expression. It's very similar roots too, especially with the pot aspect. Yeah. Great question here. Run out of water again, folks. Not a good sign. Some more restriction on movement of lips in American English. I'm trying to think of how to answer this best. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that let's see what I did there. Oh my gosh, I'm just like moving things. Look at this. Anyways, shuffling the cards. I would say that in some ways you actually have a lot of flexibility with lip position, I would argue, because the reality is that here's my secret to American English. I don't really care what you do right here. I don't really care what your lips are doing. I don't really care what your, I care a little bit about your tongue. I don't really care much about your lips at all. I care mostly about what's happening in your throat area. Are you letting enough air through? Or are you blocking that air? Okay? The reality is that, in fact, I have videos that demonstrate this. If you have the right placement and the right amount of air flow, what happens with your lips doesn't really matter, and people can still understand you. In fact, might actually understand you more clearly. To give you again an example, like E, O, U, A, Oi. What do you notice about my lips? A, E, O, U, Oi, Ah. Not a lot moving. Okay. Now I could say Ah, A, E, O, U, or I could do Ah, A, E, O, U, In all honesty, you have a lot of flexibility with your lips and you'll still be understandable. But if you don't have enough air coming through and things like that, that's going to cause a lot of problems for you. So I do think you have a lot of flexibility, actually. In fact, what I often encourage students to do is get used to pronouncing things with kind of more closed lip positions, and then as you get more comfortable with projecting here, getting airflow through, then you can kind of start exaggerating your lip position. Because what happens a lot is when people start thinking about their lips too much, like if they're like, oh, I need to say ooh, and to make the ooh sound, I need to have really round lips, like ooh. Look what I just did. I changed my sound completely. So instead of ooh, I ended up with like ooh. Because I'm so focused on my lips and I'm so focused here, I'm shifting my placement, I'm shifting everything forward, and I'm also tensing things up. So now I'm modifying my vowel. So now instead of getting an ooh sound, I'm in with an ooh sound. And that's not the clearest. Okay. You can, in American English, make ooh, ooh, ooh. But if you're not used to placement, or if you're not used to projecting from down here, you're going to immediately get that ooh sound into an ooh sound very easily if you're not being careful. So that's kind of just my suggestion there. Great question. I really like that question. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if things are still unclear. Is this the one we just listened to?
The part
Yep. Cool. Who next?
Hey, how's it going? Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Okay. Hey, how's it going? This is the one that we talked about. This is nervous date asker dude.
Hey, how's it going? Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Okay, so some things that we talked about. Again, and this is not a mistake, so please don't interpret it that way. It's just kind of something to be aware of. The way you're saying going, again, is giving you kind of that quote-unquote like Valley Girl type accent or sound. Going. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Versus how's it going? How's it going? We're like a falling intonation on that NG sounds. Just a note about the intonation there. And again, our next video is going to talk about intonation patterns, specifically focused on beginners.
Hey, how's it going?
Is a beta saying it sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, look, it's an American. The Valley Girl accent is still an American accent. It's a thing. It's real. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, in terms of like sounds and things like that, which sound are you going? That's certainly one that's a little bit more regional. Okay. How's it going? One thing you could do is you don't necessarily have to say going like going, and you don't have to say going like going. You're like, how's it going? Going. With like kind of a slight rising. Going. Okay. Something like that. Okay. But yeah, again, nothing, not saying it's wrong, not saying it's right. Just saying, hey, in terms of where in the U.S. today do you find that more commonly? Stereotypically, California.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Another thing too that may help too is if that's not something you're going for, is making the NG sound a little stronger versus just going with the reduction and just the N sound.
Hey, how's it going? Do you have any plans for tomorrow? Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Second half.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Any plans for tomorrow? Everything I'm going to say here is not necessarily things that you have to do. I think the general sound here is actually really good. I think it sounds pretty natural. What I would say is that you have lots of reductions and you have lots of linking, which is great. So I was a little bit surprised to hear the T in tomorrow.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
But you will hear native speakers pronounce the T on tomorrow with a T after this R sound. But in general, because you have this R sound followed by a T, followed by another vowel, you have that T, you have that Schwa sound after the T. So again, when you have an R plus a T plus a vowel, what very commonly happens in American English is you end up with what's called a fast D, flap T sound. So instead of for tomorrow, more for tomorrow. Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
For tomorrow?
So instead of for tomorrow, more for tomorrow. For
tomorrow?
Yeah, because it's just a note on that. Yeah, I'm always hesitant to just replace a T with a D because you don't want to sound for tomorrow, because that's not definitely not the sound you want. Okay, it's a fast D flap T sound. Okay, so it's just a quick little flap. Okay, for tomorrow. Okay, do you have any plans for tomorrow? So that is one option that you can also apply. You don't have to. You will hear native speakers that pronounce a true T. Nothing wrong with that. Just showing you some options.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
You could also reduce for.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
For tomorrow? You could reduce for to for.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Because it's like for tomorrow versus for tomorrow. I personally, if I were talking, I'd probably reduce it to like for tomorrow. Like plans for tomorrow. It's just like for, real quick reduced for sound. But again, these are all options. There's nothing here that I would say you cannot find anywhere in the U.S. Okay, you can find people in the U.S. that talk like this entire sentence. Okay, but just some other variations and things.
Hey,
to
how's it going? Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Okay, but yeah, nice file. I think you're doing some great things. Yeah, I would say in general, Rachel's English. I feel like she's kind of similar to Archie. Like she in general is in favor of the reductions, and the linking and things like that. So that's not surprising if you find her doing that. G. I don't. What do I say to this? All right, last original file. Maybe my camera name. Let me know what's your guys' favorite letter. Do you guys like the letter G? I know my name starts with it, but it's okay if you have other favorite letters.
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, Emmanuel, I think we talked about this earlier. The me, super reduced, right? Me, kidding me. Okay. G sound Q. Q is an underrated letter. Okay. Fun fact, can anyone think of a word that starts with Q without no Googling? Hey, no cheating. Hey, see me big. No cheating on this. No cheating. What is a word that starts with a Q? A word that starts with Q, and the next letter is not the letter U. Starts with a Q, and the next letter is not the letter U. So you can think of some words with that. Anyways, though.
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, okay, so again, kidding me versus kidding me. Q said the next letter is a U. In fact, there's 2 of them. But that's not fair. There's a hyphen in between there. You guys are cheating on me. Everyone's cheating. Who are you people?
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
Take care, Susanna. Thank you so much for stopping by. You guys have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. It's great to see Susanna.
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, so again, me. We already talked about that to death. The other things.
4 hours?
4 hours. Yeah, I think with hours, you're very attached to that H.
4 hours?
4 hours. That's kind of hard to say. Try to say that like 3 times with the H. 4 hours. 4 hour. 4 hours. That's probably the hardest tongue twister we've had all day. 4 hours. 4 hours. 4 hours versus 4 hours. Take off the H and instead let the R roll into it. 4 hours. 4 hours.
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be.
4 hours? You gotta be kidding me.
I think you have also an opportunity. If you're really it depends on the situation, right? It always depends on context. But if you are truly upset by this time and things like that, I would have gone crazier on the pitch. Playing it very safe. You're playing it very kind of, I don't want to say reserved, but kind of slightly restrained. But but this sounds like you want to be exasperated. Like it sounds like you want to be like really upset by this. So let's get upset. Let's exaggerate. Let's put some emotion into this. Because right now we're staying so flat.
Hours? You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. First, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I would have gone crazy on the kidding. I would have really raised the pitch on it. You gotta be kidding me. 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 Like something like that. Go crazy on the pitch. You gotta be kidding me. 4 hours? You gotta be kidding me. Like something like that. I would really. Emmanuel, I think this is something, again, I really want you to be playing with because I think you have the idea of the reductions down. I think you have the breath down. So now to get that real natural sound that you're going for, I think you have to, and I think you need to exaggerate your emotions a little bit because the pitch range is too limited. Okay. Watch your favorite show from the U.S. or listen to your favorite, person talking from the U.S. Listen to what they're doing, and you're just going to hear more pitches. Because everything right now, we're staying a little bit too restrained. Stop playing it safe. You're playing it too safe. No safety here. We're going all out. We're going crazy. Okay. More mold. Not to be confused with more mold. Gosh, technically it comes from Chinese. Just like qi, which means like energy. Dictionaries may not like it though. I don't know. But yeah, but that's the only word I can think of right now. Which again means like energy. But yeah, more emotion. Go crazy. Go nuts. I want you to go super exaggerating on your audio files. That's your homework assignment. Emmanuel, when you send me audio files, I need to see you big. This is just between me and Emmanuel right now. No one else. Just me and Emmanuel. It's just you and me talking, okay? Your homework assignment. For the next audio file you sent me, I need you to be very, very exaggerated. I want your high to be super high and appropriate, and I want your low to be really low and appropriate. Okay? That's Emmanuel's homework assignment. But again, the key is also appropriate. Don't go crazy, just go crazy. Make it sound good. If you're not sure what to do, listen to like podcasts or listen to some people talking like from a TV show and like mirror what they're doing. All right. That concludes our original group of files, which means we need to take a look at our second group. But before we do that, did you guys know? I have a fun fact for you. Did you guys know that if you're enjoying this and if you're getting help from everything that we're saying, we do practice like this every single day in our pronunciation Telegram group? You can look below in the ticker to find more information about that, but I want to kind of just talk about it really quick.
Eel, please. I think your O sounds are a little bit tense. Take off the T on center.
What you're going to find in our Telegram group is very similar to today. I just want to look at that switch. Look at that. We just kind of, it's so cool. Anyways, what we do every day in the Telegram group is I post a challenge. In fact, I can even show you what it looks like. And post an audio file. And then you can send your own. And we listen to you. And we give some suggestions. In fact, we got a new member today. What's up, Kenny, if you're watching this? So again, yesterday's file. People sent me a ton of files yesterday. So yesterday's file, talk about ways to say that you're upset or you're not well. Sorry, I had this on the wrong screen. Okay, so this is an example of our Telegram group. Okay, so again, yesterday posted this challenge. People sent me like, it's a phrase, ways to say you're upset or not well. Oh, I'm not sharing. Oh my gosh, everything's going crazy. Everything's going crazy. Take 3, people. It's a long day. It's a Saturday. Come on. So this is an example of our Telegram group right here. Okay. So every day in the Telegram group, I post a challenge, kind of like what I did yesterday. We're talking about ways to say you're upset, not well. I give some examples. I play a recording of myself.
I'm not in a good mood. I'm feeling a bit off.
So then you get a model, and then you can send in your own pronunciation files. As you can see, people have done. And I listen to them and I give you feedback very similar to what we do today, except we do it every single day of the week because I'm crazy and I just want to help you. It's the price of 2 espressos, at least in the US. It's like $5 a month gets you access to the group. Okay. So I'd love to help you out on a daily basis. Some people just need that daily boost of encouragement. All right, give me a minute to check our last few files. Just doing some scouting. But in the meantime,
like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing.
Oh gosh, you guys will like these. I don't think I'll get hit with copyright for these, but everything's a... Is he going to do the whole thing? Oh, well. The singer, yes, in general, is able to get a lot of airflow. That's definitely tends not to be one of his main issues, pronunciation-wise. All right, so there's that. Get excited, everyone. So we're getting some British accents on this as well. Gordon Ramsay's British, right? Or not Australian? Let's get started. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to have to save that one. Hang on. Okay. So Beta got one of yours, or next one. And it says tongue twister. Everyone wants to send TH tongue twisters today. That's our thing. Okay. All right. I'm going to close the document, by the way. So if you did not send us a file today, that's okay. You know, we use actually, let me bring that back. Just give me a moment. See what I see, hear what I hear. Otherwise, this is a very difficult thing to do. Okay, so again, we use this same document every single week. Every episode of the Schwa Mill uses this same document. So if you want to send us some pronunciation files, I typically update it on Thursday or Friday, erase everything, and then you can start inputting your own files, so we'll have them. So if you're watching this for the first time, if you're watching this for the 1000th time, but you've never sent us a file, but maybe you're feeling encouraged, well, just keep an eye out for Thursday or Friday. You can send us the file. By the way, if you are a beginner or an intermediate student, if you're like, wow, these people have such great accents, my accent's not as good, we still want to hear you. We don't care. We just want to listen and give some help. You know, it's not every day that, you know, pronunciation coaches are giving you, specifically you, free pronunciation help for you. You know, who else is doing that? You know, so for your specific accent. So we want to take advantage of that. Send us a pronunciation file. It'd be great to hear from you. We do it every Saturday. Let me double check. Yeah, these are the betas. Okay. But I save that document for next time. Let's take a listen to first one here.
Thanks.
Okay. Just saying thanks.
Thanks.
I think this sounds good.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. So Beta, if you have a specific question about it, let me know.
Thanks.
But I like that. Sounds good. Next one.
First 3 months are free.
First 3 months are free. First 3 months.
First 3 months are free.
First 3 months are free. I think the big thing here is actually the stresses. First 3 months are free. I would stress first and free. The F words.
First 3 months are free.
First 3 months are free. And I would probably stress free. In a general situation with no context, I would stress free. Heaviest. First 3 months are free. The first 3 months are free. You know, if you listen to like advertisements on TV or things like that, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear the stress on the free. Free is always a huge stress. It's free, things like that. Kind of like the Schwa Mill. It's free. Free pronunciation help. Why wouldn't people want that?
First 3 months are free.
I would also lower your pitches on the 3 months. First 3 months, months should be your second lowest point. R is going to be a little bit lower, but months needs to be lower too. First 3 months are free. First 3 months are free.
First 3 months are free.
Okay. Let's take a look at our next one.
When are we going to talk next time? When are we going to talk next time? When are we going to talk next time?
When are we going to talk next time? I would stress talk.
When are we going to talk next time?
When are we going to talk next time? When are we going to talk next time? In fact, talk would probably be my only stress. When are we going to talk next time?
When are we going to talk next time?
You're also using rising intonation on time, but this is an information question. You know, so why, who, what, when, where, how, these sorts of questions typically are going to have falling intonation at the end. Now, it is possible to have rising intonation. Okay, that this is an oversimplification to just say you always use falling intonation with them. But in a general situation, without knowing enough context, I would expect this to fall.
When are we going to talk next time?
So when are we going to talk next time? I would do when are we going to talk next time? Okay, so those are going to be my big suggestions here, honestly. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Zabay. Just pay attention to these little things. I think that's the That's the big deal, you know. We'll throw in 50% off for the next month. Sweeten the deal. Yeah, it's free and half off the next month. It's freer.
What are we gonna talk next time?
Yeah, so I think honestly the biggest impacts are going to be change your stress and intonation pattern. And I think doing those two things will immediately give you a more natural sound here.
What are we gonna talk next time?
Yeah, those are the main things I would like to hear for this. So, but if you have other questions, let me know. But I think that's the big thing. Okay, I see that we also have a question. Where in the throat chest is the right spot for placement? Okay. Again, if you are feeling pain, strain, or any sort of like suffering at all when you're doing like placement, things like that, that is an immediate sign something is not right. Okay. We might be forcing it too low. It should not feel like something you're forcing down. Okay. What I would say is we try to find one sound where you're able to get kind of that natural placement without feeling it straining. Okay. So in general, like where I feel like I'm projecting from is kind of like around here. Okay. Maybe even slightly higher than that. But the other thing that you want to be mindful of too is your diaphragm in your stomach. Okay, let me take this away. So like you should feel your stomach tensing a little bit. Okay, to give you a quick example, I know we use this a lot, but it's such helpful advice is, you know, for a moment, put your hands on your stomach and think of something really, really funny that happened to you and just laugh. It's like, and notice what's happening with your stomach. Okay, it's like tensing and relaxing, tensing and relaxing. Okay, people who watch the stream a lot, you know, I always say this, but if you can get used to that sound, what that feels like with your stomach, you should be feeling that not as heavy, but you should feel like a little bit of that tension every time you're saying vowel sounds. Okay, so that's the first thing. In addition to that sound is very, very similar to a schwa sound. And here at the Schwa mill, we love the schwa sound, right? So you can transition from that sound. If you're able to get that, that is very similar to the sound that you're looking for. Okay, for the schwa. And then you can apply that to other sounds like e, a, ooh. Okay. You know, also again, in terms of vibration, you know, in terms of placement, you're projecting from like here, but it's okay if you feel some vibration lower in your chest area as well, because it's going through your diaphragm and things like that. You're getting some of that richness. Okay. Just some other things to keep in mind. Another sound that you can use as an example is, the example I give a lot, is imagine that you're surrounded by lots and lots of 5-year-old boys making lots of noise around you. And you need them to be quiet. So something you would say to them is like, hush, hush. That sound is also very similar to that schwa sound. Okay, so getting used to a schwa, or if the schwa isn't going well for you, another sound you can use as an example is maybe like an E sound. And see if you can just play around with the placement a little bit. Start high, go down like E, 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 E. Again, E, 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 E. And then you can go back up. E, 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 E. And then you can do the whole thing. E, 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 E. Okay, so it's things like that. Another exercise that Emmanuel likes to do, he likes to hum. So instead of doing that with like an E sound, you can do it with like an sounds like you know, you can join it all together like you know, so all those sorts of exercises you can try to just kind of move around the placement, get something that feels natural to you. You know, you can also, again, in the Schwa mill, you know, you can send us files so we can listen to them. We can let you know, hey, your placement might be too low. Your placement can go too low. Okay? Your placement, your breath, you can add too much breath. Okay? You can't add too much breath. That can also happen too. You'll know if you end up with what's called a vocal fry. Take again the E sound. You're adding too much breath if you end up with something like E. You hear that popping? Okay. In fact, it's probably too relaxed as well. You don't want to hear that. Okay, that's a sign that you might actually need to raise your placement slightly. Imagine that. You actually need to go a little higher. And you also maybe need to close your throat slightly. Okay, so if you ever find yourself getting into that vocal fry range, just kind of something to keep in mind. So I would try those exercises. Let me know if anything there is not clear. Hopefully something there will work well for you.
Hey everyone, it's Jeff.
All my troubles seem so far.
Okay, alright.
It is time to listen to one of our favorites here at the Schwa Mill. If you have never heard him before, you are in for something. Is it a treat? Is that the appropriate word? We'll start with the short one, because he sent us some long ones. And if the singer is watching, again, just try to keep it appropriate. The minute it gets inappropriate, I do have to cut it off. But let us see our first one here.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit.
I'm going to get
He took the midnight train going anywhere.
He is. He's doing the thing. He's actually doing it, right? He did the thing. Fascinating. Our second one is not from the singer, though. It's actually from the Gordon Ramsay.
Hello guys, this is Gordon Ramsay, and today I'm going to be teaching fluent American how to cook the perfect steak. So fluent American, if you're watching. Alright, let's get started. Hot pan. The secret here is to make sure that we literally sear the steak and not boil it. Season it first, beautifully done. Get some nice large grains of pepper so you got a nice bit of heat. Mop up all that seasoning is sort of pushing. Four most important parts to make sure that you take them out of the fridge 20 minutes before you actually start cooking them. Alright, pan just start smoking, touch a boil in, and then just lay the steaks away. Always away from you. And let the pan do the work.
Someone try these steaks.
That's the noise you want to hear in a pan every time.
Is that the pan?
Pair of tongs. Turn it over very carefully.
Carefully.
Literally 30 seconds in the pan, you can see the color. Beautiful. That layer of fat on the back of the sirloin. You want to render that as well. Use the pan to your advantage till the pan let all that hot fat olive oil run down on the back end, and it starts to sear the steak even better. You put a little bit of garlic in, nice little flavor steaks. Doesn't need to be peeled, just lightly crushed. And then
has anyone watched Gordon Ramsay?
Really
is this
nice flavor to steak.
I haven't watched the whole.
Turning every minute so you got a nice even color. And if you start turning your steaks every minute it starts to cook evenly a little. Now I'm gonna start out with my butter. And this is where the steak starts to take on a complete different color. Tilt the pan, then just spice the steaks. That little fried thyme.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's consistent
burning,
throughout.
So that's why we start out with olive oil. Get the garlic and sort of brush the garlic over. Off with the grass. Take them out. Beautiful. Let them rest. And off. And then from there, slice. Rare, going on to medium rare. Delicious. Alright, bye.
Oh my gosh. Well, You guys, you've done it again. You have spent another one of your Saturdays here at the Schwa Mill listening to American English pronunciation suggestions and advice and things like that. If this is your first time, welcome. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves. More importantly, we hope to see you in a future stream. Okay, if you've watched us 1,000 times, we also hope to see you in a future stream too. Thanks for coming back. If you're watching on the replay, hey, leave a comment. I'll be sure to respond. Okay. If you're the singer or Gordon Ramsay or whoever you are, thanks so much for sending your audio file. We'll be back. I do have to note next week there's a potential that I may not be able to stream. I have to see. I might have some childcare issues with my son, so I might have to watch him myself during that time. But regardless, whenever we stream next, there's a chance it might just be at a different time Saturday. We'll see. The singer, Gordon Ramsay, whoever you are, if you're out there signing things, send us something. Also, the singer, I have some merch for you coming out soon. Be excited. You guys, thank you for spending part of your Saturday with me, studying some American English. You know, I realize that there are millions of resources out there for American English pronunciation. So the fact that you trust me with some of that responsibility is not something I take lightly. I enjoy doing it. I hope it helps you. If there's things you'd like to see in the future, be sure to let us know. But otherwise, keep an eye out tomorrow for our video taking a look at intonation patterns. It's aimed more at beginners. So if you know someone just starting with American English pronunciation, this is going to be a video for them. But even if you are looking for more practice with following intonation, it is a great video for you. And I will see you guys in a future stream. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Take care, everybody.